Are you sitting around hoping, waiting for your avoidant ex to come back? Do you want your avoidant ex back? If you do, you might want to ask yourself a question. Why do you want this person back? Are you holding on to the version that love bombed you? The version that you had a strong connection with? The early version of them that showed up before their avoidant fears were triggered? Or are you holding on to the version that discarded you? The version that blindsided you, pulled the rug from under your feet, dropped you like a rock without warning, gave you only vague answers, only vague excuses as to why they had to discard you. They left you with no closure and showed you no empathy. Is that the version you want back? Because the early version is not the entirety of who they are. The version that discarded you is also part of who they are as well. This is a person with very deep attachment wounds. This is the result of childhood emotional neglect. And if this person has not worked on themselves, this is going to result in this kind of behavior as an adult. Emotional unavailability, fear of intimacy. That's because they've learned to associate emotional closeness with abandonment. They have a strong fear of rejection and a strong fear of engulfment. The fear of engulfment is losing themselves in a relationship to somebody who's ultimately going to abandon them and reject them. So, in a relationship with this person, even expressing your wants and needs, even if it's just the bare minimum, will come across as being too clingy, too needy, too overbearing, and they're going to lose themselves in this relationship because you're just too much. That person has a wall a mile wide. That is the person that they also are. Are you wanting a relationship with somebody who has a ton of work to do on themselves before they can even be emotionally present in a relationship with you? Are you wanting back a person who shows that when they're triggered, they go into a complete selfish shell, where they're only thinking of themselves? Because they were not thinking of you when they discarded you. They certainly were not considering your feelings. They weren't trying to hurt you, but your feelings were an afterthought. They were thinking of themselves and what they perceived they wanted or needed in the moment. This is a person that can change, they can heal, but it requires a lot of work, a lot of self-reflection, which they generally avoid, and a lot of therapy. It's a process. This person can change. But are you willing to bet your heart on it if this person comes back? If this person comes back, are you willing to risk that again? Or will you be walking on eggshells, waiting for them to drop you again? It is a very, very painful experience to get discarded, absolutely. And it is absolutely devastating because you thought you had your twin flame and you want that version back so badly. And you just want them to wake up and realize that they made a mistake, come back, and never do it again. But it's not that simple, because these are deep, deep fears that the avoidant has. And these fears are what drive avoidant behavior. And these fears don't just go away by magic. It requires a lot of work. And this person has to be willing to do the work and to really dig deep and self-reflect and work on themselves. Otherwise, if they're not coming back and really showing you all the work they're doing, this person is likely to discard you again and again and again every time they come back. Is that something you want to risk? It's a very important question to ask yourself. And another question to ask yourself, would you have done this to them? Would you have dropped them like that? Would you have blindsided them and left them with no answers and shattered their heart? No, you wouldn't have. So why do you feel like it's okay to have that done to you? Why are you waiting for somebody who shattered you and gave you no empathy or answers to come back and choose you and pick you again? You deserve better than that. You're not an option. You should be somebody's priority. You treated them as if they were your priority because they were your priority. You deserve the same in return. Ultimately, if you do decide to give this person another chance, That's your choice. But just ask yourself these questions first. Protect your heart. Hold boundaries with this person if you do give them another chance. Your boundaries are your sword and shield. Hold their feet to the fire. Make sure they're doing the work on themselves. Because if they're not, you're gonna get your heart destroyed once again. And believe me, the second discard, it hurts just as much as the first.